Hello. I'm going to start my presentation here on interactive whiteboards in the classroom. Um, um, so I found when I'm thinking about interactive whiteboards, I'm thinking it's most interesting, I guess, to me to think about them in terms of information processing theory, which claims that human brain processes and stores information like computers. And so I found this diagram here that kind of explains how there's input, which is basically what we'll be teaching, which goes into sensory memory, which is immediate, which really requires attention to get it over to short-term memory. And then short-term memory, enhanced by reversal and a lot of other brain tools, can be encoded into long-term memory and then retrieved again for output later. And so, this theory illustrates, I guess, the importance of capturing and retaining students' attention, because you need to have their attention in order to make sure that information moves from the sensory to the working memory. And then it also just illustrates the importance of creating memorable lessons. Lessons that are experiences that generate multiple connections between working and long-term memories. And so interactive whiteboards, I think, are one really excellent method of engaging students so that the information they learn is absorbed, stored, and easily retrievable. And so websites like the ones that I researched for this week, this is EnglishHilfen.de, which, if I recall from our November book, is Germany's country code, not Denmark. And globalclassroom.org. These are two websites that have a lot of activities that pretty engage and really demand students' attention and help create connections between working and long-term memory that ensure that the information will stay and last. So a lot of these, they have activities and games. And I think games end up being a really great way of reviewing and reinforcing lessons. And the neat thing about interactive whiteboards is that they enable classes to play games together. And so with IWB's teachers, they can show students how to play the games and then encourage them to use games at home. And so I just found these two pictures kind of examples of types of games where when you're having kids, I focused on English grammar because that's what I plan on teaching, and finding the adjectives and also Jeopardy games and things like this. So kind of interesting ways of just doing something neat and original with the information you're hoping to get to your students. So yeah, that's kind of what I learned and what I was thinking. I just think it's a really interesting way, especially in alternative just lecturing and stuff like that, to get information not just at students but actually into their brains and memories. All right, thanks.